You're watching New York's #1 news. Channel 7 Eyewitness News this morning with Ken Rosado, Shirley Ellicott, Heather O'Rourke with traffic, and Bill Evans with the exclusive AccuWeather forecast. Now, Eyewitness News this morning.
Death and destruction in Lower Manhattan. A man driving a truck a mile down a packed bike path in what is now the worst terror attack in New York City since 9/11.
He kept going all the way down, full speed, and then the next thing all I heard was like 9, 10 gunshots.
A car and a school bus collided, and people in the school bus got hurt.
This was an act of terror, and a particularly cowardly act of terror.
Federal agents at the suspect's home right now, and now we are learning more about the victims who were killed. And hello, I'm Shirley Ellicott.
And I'm Ken Rosado. Today is Wednesday, November 1st, a very sad Wednesday morning. We want to get right to that truck terror attack. We want to show you the path the suspect took. He started on West Houston Street about 3 p.m. yesterday and drove all the way down to West Chambers Street, not far from the World Trade Center and right next to Stuyvesant High School. And here's the very latest information at this hour. 8 people are dead, 13 people injured, and right now the suspect is at Bellevue Hospital. And at this moment, federal agents are executing a search warrant at the suspect's home in Paterson, New Jersey, and that's where he lived with his wife and 3 children. We have 3 reports this morning. We begin with the latest in the investigation. Eyewitness reporter Candace McCowan live at the scene in Lower Manhattan. Candace.
Yeah, Ken, Shirley, and federal authorities are waiting on a search warrant to search that vehicle, that truck used in yesterday's deadly rampage. I'm here at Chambers and West Street, and behind me it is still blocked off. Much of the path that he took yesterday is still blocked off, and police saying it will be until further notice as they continue to collect evidence. New video shows officers taking Sayfulo Saipov into custody moments after he's accused of going on a nearly mile-long path of death and destruction down a bike path along the Hudson River.
We got multiple casualties. This is a mass casualty situation here.
Saipov chose a quiet tree-lined path for his attack, turning his rented truck off of West Street at West Houston just after 3 o'clock yesterday afternoon as children were getting out of school, ready to celebrate Halloween. He only stopped after crashing into a school bus.
Oh my God. A uniformed police officer assigned to the 1st Precinct confronted the subject and shot him in the abdomen.
Police say he was holding a BB gun and a pellet gun, shouting "God is great" in Arabic as officers responded.
Based on the information we have at this moment, this was an act of terror, and a particularly cowardly act of terror.
President Trump responding to the attack on Twitter saying, quote, "We must not allow ISIS to return or enter our country after defeating them in the Middle East and elsewhere. Enough."
New York is an international symbol of freedom and democracy. That's what we are, and we are proud of it. That also makes us a target for those people who oppose those concepts.
Well, yesterday there were 3 schools, 1 high school and 2 elementary schools that were put in lockdown. While this was all happening, we know that there were 2 students and 2 staff members that were injured when that truck crashed into that school bus here. We know that those schools will be back in session today, and they will have trauma counselors on hand. Live here in Lower Manhattan, Candace McCowan, Channel 7 Eyewitness News.
Candace, thank you. We now turn to Eyewitness News reporter Derek Waller.
Yeah, he is live at Bellevue Hospital with an update on the victims. Derek?
Ken and Shirley, we know there's 8 people dead, 13 injured, but we just got some new information from the NYPD who says there's now fewer than 12 people still hospitalized. Not sure yet how many of those people are here at Bellevue and how many are downtown at Presbyterian. Meanwhile, we also just got some new video of that moments after that truck rammed into a school bus full of children. A warning, though, this video's graphic.
Hey, I need an ambulance right here. Right here. The guy T-boned. Come on. There's a kid right there. Oh, my God. Oh, my God.
2 students and 2 Department of Ed staffers were injured in that crash. 1 student injured critically. Meanwhile, of the 8 dead, we've learned at least 6 were foreigners, 5 from Argentina, officials there tweeted, and 1 from Belgium. We spoke with a horrified eyewitness.
I was on the pool deck on the 1st floor with a window facing the West Side Highway where I was able to see the bodies and 3 destroyed bicycles, as well as all the police, firefighters, bomb squad, SWAT team arriving on the scene.
And as for the suspect, we know that he is also here at Bellevue after police shot him in the hip. He is expected to survive. Live on the east side, Derek Waller, Channel 7 Eyewitness News.
Derek, thank you. Several schools were letting out as the attack unfolded this morning. We are hearing from one young girl who witnessed the chaos.
She saw the guy with the gun, so then the crossing guard told us to go down, but I didn't know about that. I just got scared, and I got really scared. And then when the crash happened, I just saw it crash, and then there was smoke everywhere, and I was coughing a lot.
Avery was on her way home with her nanny at the time. She says with the help of a crossing guard, they ran into a nearby building to hide until the scene calmed down.
A new video from the overnight showing federal agents at the home of the suspect, Saifullah Saipov. The agents were also in nearby Passaic, where the suspect left his minivan and rented the Home Depot truck used in the attack. Eyewitness News reporter Stefan Kim is live outside the suspect's home in Paterson, New Jersey. Stefan.
Well, Ken, investigators have executed that search warrant. They've been in and out of this apartment building all night and morning. This is where they believe the suspect most recently lived for the past several years with his wife and 3 kids. Meanwhile, not far from here in Passaic, detectives are searching for clues at the Home Depot where his white Toyota minivan is parked. They're still waiting for a search warrant to go through that vehicle. Authorities say that's where 29-year-old Saifullah Saipov rented the flatbed truck used in the deadly attack. Now, Saipov entered the U.S. through Kennedy Airport from Uzbekistan in 2010. He had a green card that allowed permanent legal residence. Officials believe he lived first in Ohio after his arrival. Before moving to New Jersey, he lived for a time in Tampa, Florida. Neighbors there say there were never any red flags.
We never feared anything because he had a family too. He was there with his wife and children. The children were young. I mean, he had a whole family as well. So no one ever suspected anything.
Now, meanwhile, we're learning Saipov had been working as an Uber driver for 6 months and passed their background check. Uber in a statement saying, quote, "We're horrified by this senseless act of violence. Our hearts are with the victims and their families. We have reached out to law enforcement to provide our full assistance." Federal authorities, meanwhile, say Saipov had been on their radar. It is still unclear, though, at this hour why. Reporting live in Paterson, Stefan Kim, Channel 7 Eyewitness News.
Stefan, thank you. It is 5:37. New York City strong, trending on Twitter right now. The theme was on full display at the annual Village Halloween Parade, just about a mile away from the scene of the attack. Mayor de Blasio, Governor Cuomo, and NYPD Commissioner James O'Neill led thousands of marchers. Also noticeably present, lots of extra security. The NYPD provided additional officers, heavy weapons teams, and lots of sand trucks to serve as blockers. Despite the tragedy that unfolded just hours before, New Yorkers felt it was important for the annual tradition to carry out.
I think it's awesome. You know, in a time like this, we need to come together.
I think as New Yorkers, we wanted to show we can still come out to the streets and celebrate our city.
Commissioner O'Neill tweeting after the parade that New Yorkers are resilient and will not be deterred. Great to see large crowd at annual Halloween Parade and Village. Thanks for showing the world who we are.
5:38, this horrific attack coming just days before the TCS New York City Marathon, which draws millions, as you know, of visitors from around the world. The New York Roadrunner says it is constantly reviewing security plans with law enforcement and will consider any necessary modifications or enhancements to media events that were supposed to take place today, including the ceremonial blue line painting, are being postponed because of the attack. And as we learn more about the attack and the increased security around the city, be sure to stay with Eyewitness News. We are posting new information at ABC 7 NY and our free news app.